Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything Podcast, and in this episode I'm going to be recapping Here We Go Season 3 Episode 2, titled Mum's Bad Tooth, which was originally released on the 25th of July 2025. If you haven't already, please go and check out my recap of Here We Go Season 3 Episode 1, titled Mum and Dad's Anniversary. As of time of recording, that episode is out. So obviously by the time you're seeing this episode, it's out. So please go and check it. And if you can't find it anywhere, look for the Here We Go playlist, which should be near the top. If you wait till the end of this episode, it should appear at the end as well. But before I get on with my recap of Here We Go Season 3 Episode 2, titled Mum's Bad Tooth, here is the Here We Go Season 3 trailer.
Yeah. So I just want to keep things super duper chill.
Those crocodile skin leggings.
Oh, crogging, yeah.
Sorry, this is what?
Granny's old house.
Yeah.
Our kitchen was similar to theirs, actually.
Really?
Less, chicken.
Yeah, I'm naturally quite a flexible person.
You're about to get the money shot.
That was the trailer for Here We Go Season 3, and I'm showing you that because right now I am recapping Here We Go Season 3 Episode 2, titled Mum's Bad Tooth. I should mention that I'm recording this episode on the 3rd of August 2025. Here's my recap of Here We Go Season 3 Episode 2, Mum's Bad Tooth. We start off with the Here We Go title sequence. Rachel raises her voice at Sue whilst mentioning her dentist appointment. Paul and Sue discuss DVDs. Sam points out the change in next door's for sale sign to Rachel. Paul attempts to reassure Rachel. Sue drops her DVDs. A 1 week ago flashback occurs. Paul and Rachel spy on their potential new neighbours. They inform Amy of this. Sam explains why he isn't at school. Amy insults Paul. Amy corrects Paul over her housing arrangement. Amy mentions Sue. Sue mentions Titanic. Sam mentions it. Paul mentions the thing. Sue annoys Paul. Rachel mentions King Jong-un. Amy informs Paul who some underwear belongs to. Amy mentions currently not having a job. Paul corrects Sue over what a piece of his police uniform is called. Paul amuses Sam. Paul corrects himself. The doorbell rings. Paul and Sam convince Rachel to answer the door. Amy is considering inviting Maya to pizza night. Paul sees through Amy on why she actually wants to do this. Robin and Cherry enter the house. Sue believes Robin and Cherry's unborn child is a boy. Robin mentions Riverdance. Paul fills in Robin and Cherry. Cherry mentions Robin's upcoming bungee jump. Paul insults Cherry but manages to save himself by complimenting her. Cherry mentions her and Robin's unborn child. Sam wants to film Robin's bungee jump. Robin reveals when and where his bungee jump is taking place. Sue mentions Google. Amy invites Sam to join her and Graham at a heavy metal concert. Amy mentions dead pigeons. Paul mentions health and safety. Amy does an impression of Paul. Amy insults Paul. Paul reveals why his colleagues don't like him at the moment. Paul reveals who works with Forge Amy's. Amy continues to insult Paul. Paul raises his voice at the idea of him being boring. Paul mentions being a former Olympian. Sue attempts to defend Paul. Rachel admits that Paul is boring. Rachel mentions Susie and Joe. Amy mentions Milo. Rachel and Paul reveal where they previously met Susie and Joe. Rachel and Paul get overexcited. Cherry eats Paul's donuts. Rachel and Paul visit an estate agents. The estate agents mistake Rachel and Paul for buyers. Paul insults one of the estate agents. Paul reveals his email. A 3-day flashback occurs. Paul mentions his bungee jump. Rachel receives a call from her dentist. Rachel explains why she doesn't like her dentist. Paul and Sam correct Rachel. Amy and Maya reunite. Rachel informs Paul that Sue and Joe have arrived. Amy updates Maya. Amy mentions Robin and Cherry. Paul asks Sue to turn the volume down. Sue reveals she's currently watching The Human Centipede. Sue defends the volume whilst mentioning Prue. Sam apologises to Sue. Sue mentions Ken. Paul informs Sue that she is currently committing a crime. Amy impersonates Paul. Susie and Joe enter the house. Rachel and Paul reunite with Susie and Joe. Rachel mentions Amy. Paul mentions Maya. Rachel mentions Sam and his ADHD. Susie accidentally watches some of The Human Centipede. Susie screams. Rachel and Susie reminisce about their previous quiz team. Joe mentions archery. Paul informs Susie and Joe that he is now a policeman. Joe reveals that one of the Jamies that Paul works with is his brother. Amy notices that Joe has an earring. Joe reveals he is turning 45 this next week. Susie compliments the pizzas. Rachel showcases her Italian. Paul tells his pizza story. Susie and Joe find this story not amusing. Maya falls asleep. Amy wakes up Maya. Maya apologises. Rachel offers olives to Susie and Joe. Rachel's tooth falls into Susie's pizza. Rachel apologises to Susie. Paul and Rachel discuss this. Sue defends Sam. Sue mentions the very hungry caterpillar Ken and Prue. Rachel wants to call Susie. A one day ago flashback occurs. Sam hates this concert. Rachel updates everyone on how her dentist appointment went. Sue and Prue discuss Saw and Saw 2. Paul mentions Dr. Zeus. Paul and Rachel discuss that the police are questioning Ken. Paul convinces Sue and Prue to return to the car. Sam mentions dead bodies. Sam spots Susie and Joe. Paul informs Rachel of this. Sam corrects Rachel. Paul believes he isn't boring. Paul and Rachel follow Susie. Sam, Paul and Rachel gatecrash Joe's surprise birthday party. Rachel informs Susie that she has been to the dentist. Joe arrives at his surprise birthday party. Susie apologises to Joe and blames Sam, Rachel and Paul. One of the Jamies that Paul works with accuses Paul of ruining another surprise party. Paul defends himself. Rachel wants Susie's phone number. Susie refuses to give Rachel her phone number. Jamie discovers one of Sue's dodgy DVDs. Paul mentions Sue and Prue. Paul still believes he isn't boring. Paul starts retelling his pizza story until Joe spoils the ending. Susie reveals why she and Joe aren't moving in next door. Rachel celebrates. Paul gets angry. Amy insults Paul. Maya apologises to Rachel. Rachel believes she no longer likes Susie and Joe. Cherry mentions Robin currently suffering with whiplash. Robin mentions R2-D2. Robin and Paul pull out of the bungee jump. Paul mentions only connect. Amy convinces Maya to bungee jump with her. Amy and Maya bungee jump. Amy reaffirms her love for Paul and Rachel. Amy and Maya scream. Paul and Rachel now consider bungee jumping boring, and that is my recap of Here We Go. It's season 3, episode 2, titled. What's it titled? Mum's Bad Tooth, isn't it? Some episodes that you've got coming up. So there is my recap of the How I Met Your Mother season 1 finale. I've written that. That'll be coming out shortly. We've got my recap of Clarkson's Farm season 4 episode 3, and we've got another Neighbours recap as well. Obviously back to doing individual episodes for that. But back to this episode, let me know what you thought of Here We Go. It's season 3 episode 2 titled Mum's Bad Tooth. If you watched it, my recap, and you can put your thoughts on both of those in the comments below, as well as anything else you want me to cover on the channel, such as any previews or recaps. Put those in the comments below as well. Remember, you can also like, comment and subscribe, and just remind that I have 2 podcast episodes released every single day, with the first episode released at 11 AM GMT and the second episode released at 3 PM GMT. Without further ado, I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.